Take a breath in. Now, let it go. If you pay close attention, there is a split second right at the end of that exhale before the next inhale begins. A tiny, quiet gap. Ancient yogic texts describe the human mind as a candle flame. As long as the wind of your breath and your swirling thoughts keeps blowing, that flame flickers and dances restlessly. But when that wind stops entirely, the flame becomes perfectly still. This is the state our sages called Kevali Kumbhaka. In Sanskrit, Keval means pure or absolute, and Kumbhaka refers to a pitcher. It's the moment your body becomes a vessel completely full of life force or prana, and the physical need to move air simply fades away. If you've ever practiced holding your breath for 5 or 10 seconds, you know it involves conscious effort. You are actively restricting your lungs. Kevali Kumbhaka is different. There is no counting and no restriction. The breathing apparatus eventually goes quiet on its own. You cannot force your way into this. It is a biological 0 point, where the nervous system's silence allows a different kind of awareness to emerge from the stillness of the body. Thousands of years ago, long before clinical trials, yogic scholars mapped out the precise mechanics of this breathless territory. They quickly recognized a trap. The human ego loves a challenge. The ego says, I am going to hold my breath longer than anyone else to achieve a spiritual result. Master teachers like BKS Iyengar warned strongly against this ego-driven retention. Wrestling your lungs into submission creates severe physical tension and derails the meditative state. This timeline illustrates how Maharishi Patanjali structured breathwork. He categorized active, effort-based breathing into 3 initial stages, but he identified a 4th tier, the 4th pranayama. This stage breaks past the boundaries of time, space, and physical effort, expanding into a limitless, effortless pause. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika echoes this curve. The author, Swami Svatmarama, advised that a student should practice deliberate breathing exercises only as a tool. The goal is for that active effort to eventually drop to 0, allowing the natural, unforced stillness to take over entirely. Making that transition requires a psychological shift. You have to stop being the active doer trying to accomplish a task. Instead, you become the witness, a passive observer of your own biology. The texts agree on this paradox. To achieve mastery over your breath, you eventually have to give up all conscious control over it. How does a human body sit in a room without taking in oxygen and not pass out? Modern science is finally putting these ancient claims to the test. When you enter these deep states of breath retention, you induce a condition called intermittent hypoxia. By temporarily lowering your oxygen intake, you trigger an internal emergency signal that kicks your survival systems into high gear. This cellular animation shows the reaction. The lack of oxygen activates a master protein called HIF-1. This protein acts like an internal repair crew, triggering a surge of fresh stem cells directly into your bloodstream to heal and regenerate tissues. Moving out to the systemic view, we see exactly what happens to the autonomic nervous system. The stress response shuts down. You enter a profound rest and digest mode. Heart rate slows, and your cortisol levels plunge to their lowest possible baselines. Up in the brain, the effects are even more striking. With the body perfectly still, the brain redirects its energy into neuroplasticity. It starts physically rewiring itself, forging new neural pathways and improving cognitive function. This biological optimization sets the stage for samadhi, the highest tier of meditation. Because the body's survival mechanisms are operating flawlessly in the background, mental turbulence and the chatter of the mind can finally evaporate. The great teacher Paramahansa Yogananda famously stated that breathlessness is deathlessness. He taught that breath is the string tying the soul to the physical body. When the need for that breath vanishes, the boundary separating you from the universe vanishes right along with it. Modern cellular biology is observing the mechanics, while ancient mysticism describes the experience. They are both looking at the exact same phenomenon, physical survival mechanisms unlocking peak consciousness. When you sit down for your next meditation, do not treat Kevali Kumbhaka as a finish line to sprint toward. Chasing it as a competitive goal guarantees you will never catch it. Just watch your breath. Follow the inhale and follow the exhale. Notice the tiny, quiet space that rests between the two. Don't try to stretch it. Just observe it, the way you would watch a smooth surface of water linger between two ocean swells. Let go of the need to manage the process. Surrender the identity of the person doing the meditation, and simply accept whatever quiet arises naturally. In that deep, breathless silence, the mental noise clears, leaving only a steady awareness that remains even when the body is perfectly still. The path to this internal permanence isn't found by fighting for your next breath, but by the quiet realization that for a moment, you don't actually need it.